So, Chris Jenkins, new video. I decided to take a break, mostly. I mean, we are going to touch back on it, but a little break from the Bible and the grand plan and what's going to happen. I'm still going to do the videos about their planet and whatever, but it'll be the next couple, and I'm really excited about that, so I'm planning them out, and I don't want to mess up. So, you know, there are things I got to do first. But this video in particular, now this one is going to be a very special video because I'm going to tell you guys a brain hack. This is a very specific technique that they taught me, and it assists in communication with them. Now, let me elaborate and explain before people start jumping to conclusions. The Bible is very specific when it talks about prayer, and it's also very specific when it talks about meditation in trance-like states. Okay? Now, modern day thinking of churches, I mean everyone that I've ever attended, says that meditation and trance-like states are a bad thing because they open your brain up to demonic forces or what have you. But if you read the Bible, it says the exact opposite of that. It says meditation is good and trance-like states are good. Let me show you. For example, Numbers 24:4. He hath said, which heard the words of God, which saw the visions of the Almighty, falling into a trance. Numbers 24:16, falling into a trance. Acts 10:10, he fell into a trance. Now Acts 10 and Acts 11, like I said, we already kind of touched on that, is kind of important because he falls into a trance and then sees a UFO. So these things are connected. Talks about hearing voices of God in trance-like states. And meditation is good. It says to practice meditation. So it is in the Bible, and that makes it valid, you know, in my opinion. So it's a good thing. Now, specifically, certain parts of your brain activate when you meditate. It's written in other cultures too. Generally speaking, it is the third eye area of your brain, right here in your forehead, the frontal lobe. Okay? So, prayer is talking to them. Meditating in these trance-like states is them talking back, or you listening for them to talk back. Okay, they're two different things. Prayer is when you make your request for whatever it is you want. And there are specific ways that the Bible talks about, you know, to do that. Like number one, it says go into your closet and pray. And it says if you ask in secret, he will reward you openly. So number one, that's the first thing you got to do. You got to go someplace quiet, someplace secluded, someplace where no one else is watching you and you can be alone. Okay, and then you enter what I kind of call the prayer sequence, you know, the prayer portion of this whole process, because it is a process. So then you pray. So everybody prays their own way. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do it. I have my way. Everybody has their way. But the Bible says anything you ask in his name will be given. So you kind of have to close the prayer in a particular way. Now, you can debate it, you can discuss it, but the Bible's kind of specific. It talks about, you know, Jesus' name. It's supposed to be Jesus' name, the Son. Now, you can call him whatever you want to call him, you know, whatever that means to you. You don't even have to use the name. You just say the King of the earth, because that is, in fact, what he is. He is the representative of the human species. He is the firstborn, perfectly created man, and he's a foreshadowing of what we are going to be in the future. So, he's kind of the representative of the entire human species. So when you cry out and you pray, you have to close it in his name and give him the proper respect that he deserves. So, you say your prayer. You be very specific about information that you want. Very specific. You make your request. You give them honor. You give them thanks for being a participant in this whole process of life, because it is a grand experiment. It's been experience after experience after experience, so you give thanks for that. They're kind of big on structure and order and honor. They're really, really big on honor. So you give them thanks. Then you give them, or you ask for, let me reword that, you should ask for forgiveness. Because they're totally different than us, okay? They have rules and regulations, moral codes that they stand by no matter what. And they kind of look down on other species that don't hold those standards and guidelines. And plus they can read your mind too, so your first thought that pops into your head, they're going to hear that. So say for example, you know, a weird looking alien species walks into the room and your first impulse is, oh my God, what the hell is that? And you think it's ugly and hideous. They're going to hear that thought and it's going to offend them. So you cannot judge a book by its cover. You can't judge these things, just like we're not supposed to judge one another. Okay? They want to take you that to the next extreme level because believe me, people, it is coming. There are things out there that are not human. And when you see them for the first time, you have to control your thoughts. But anyway, back to the subject. So you say your prayer, right? And do all that kind of stuff. Close it the right way. And then you meditate. Now, when you meditate, like I said, we're going to go back to the third eye region. Meditation is directed blood flow. Now, just like a muscle, the brain is a muscle too. When you exercise a muscle, you have a targeted area, so like say your bicep. And as you lift weights, blood flows to that area. Blood flow, that's key. Okay? Buddhist monks, Chinese warriors, there's different stories about them receiving mortal wounds and then concentrating to the point where they can control their blood flow. So when you meditate, and I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this too, because I sure have, so I know it's not me, or not just me. When you're able to meditate correctly, you'll feel pressure build up right there. You feel it, because it's blood flowing there. And just like a muscle, the more you're able to put blood there in direct flow, the greater and stronger the muscle becomes. So that portion of your area of your brain, I should say, will get better. Okay. Now, a lot of people have trouble meditating because it takes patience, it takes practice, it takes, a lot of discipline. You have to sit still, you have to kind of quiet your brain, you have to dismiss, the junk that happens during life, and that is difficult. It's hard quieting this. So, this is the specific brain hack that they told me. Now, you can test this out, and I encourage you to do so because I want to hear your feedback. I want you to test this out and tell me what happens because it worked for me. All right. When you're praying too, this is how, before you pray, or do this as you're praying. Okay, that's how you do it. Do this as you're praying. Lean forward, find a comfortable place just like you're fixing to meditate, feet firmly planted. Put your knees on your elbows, put your palms upward. Then put them on your eyes while they're closed. And gently push on your eyes. As you do that, it forces blood out of your eyes and into the next closest region, which is the frontal lobe. Try it. As you're doing this, you're going to see geometric patterns and light. Enjoy the light show. Enjoy it. Take a moment, take a couple deep breaths, settle yourself because it is a little unnerving. I mean, it's beautiful. And when you see such beautiful things, you have to take a moment to respect it and enjoy it. So push on your eyes. You don't want to do this for a real extended amount of time because it does get kind of painful, right? Just like working out a muscle, it's tensed up, it's working, and you don't want to stress it too much. So just do it for, 30 seconds. Say your prayer. Be specific. As a matter of fact, write it out. Memorize it, the first one, until you get into the hang of it and practice it more and more and more. So do that. You'll see the lights. You'll see the geometric patterns. What that is a visual representative of your personal radio signal or connection straight to them. It's telepathy, and this increases that. It's your signal. Light is a signal. You'll hear it too, even. I mean, I do. I don't know if you may, but I do. And say your prayer, enjoy it, practice that, do that a couple times. Tell me if you feel pressure build up there or not. For real, I want feedback. So, I decided to change gears and tell you all about that because that works for me. I want feedback. Send me comments, send me invites, subscribe, tell your friends, practice it and tell me if this is not true. All right, Chris Jenkins, I just wanted to share that with you. Next 2 videos will be about the planet and its return. Thanks for listening. I love y'all.